This is my second video today. Um, this one I am going to just talk about uh, really reaching out to encourage those who may feel uncertain about moves they're making in their lives and the apprehension they may have. I've overcome many obstacles, some self-made, some that were reality, and I still face things that I must overcome. That is a thing that goes on through the course of everyone's life. In society today, what we find is that there are people that want what they want and are willing to bend and cause grief for other people because this is not the way I want it. And I don't know exactly at what point people started thinking, because they speak up, they speak for everyone, and you have people in cities, or, well, officials in cities that blow with the wind as far as opinion goes and change things, and to the detriment of people who are struggling. In this country, we have problems of our own within our own country that we do very little about. Some of those issues are homelessness, with people that are in everyday walk of life, their houses are seized because people in mortgage companies write bad mortgages for their profit, and the people get approved for them, unaware that somewhere down the road they're gonna, the payments are going to become unmanageable due to their income, change of circumstances, whatever. And then we have homelessness of veterans who have served this country, gone to war. And to me, the war in Iraq really wasn't a war. It was just, we sacrificed soldiers for the greed of companies like Halliburton, and for oil. And it was, to me, it was not a noble cause. And truth of the matter is, the war in Afghanistan is a similar thing, where they were waging war to give control to the people, and also help slow the growth of poppies for opium and different drugs that citizens here in the U.S. ended up buying. And that was a fallacy as well, because the government wasn't doing anything to limit that. In fact, drugs have become more prevalent, and opium and heroin and different drugs have become more prevalent. The issues with medical care for veterans, truthfully, it's abhorrent how the president and Congress overlook these men, these brave men who have lost limbs, suffer from post-traumatic, still do, injuries to the brain, and that affect the way the brain operates are not like a scratch in your arm. It takes therapy. Sometimes you can heal it, not heal it to the way the person was before. You become a manager of that, and then the president and Congress want to bring in these Syrian refugees who, these people are coming from a different country. They have a different set of values. They want to be given things, It's kind of like the welfare system here. It is raped by people who are dishonest. There's no accountability from the government or departments. People know that people know when they get welfare, every baby is more money in their pocket from the government, and the government does nothing about it because they don't want children to suffer. And the children shouldn't suffer. It's the people who are raping the system, taking advantage of the system in ways that hurt honest American people who go to work every day, are trying to achieve their own goals, not necessarily working the job they're at, because many of us don't have real jobs. They're more like restaurant jobs. And to me, those are entry-level jobs. The business has taken on the attitude that minimum wage, these jobs are unskilled labor. We don't have to pay you. And yet businesses with high-paying jobs like manufacturing, they take out of the country, pay slave wages to foreign people, though those people, it's more money than they've ever seen. So it's the rate of pay is all in perspective, but in truth, these companies are prostituting the human race in order to achieve profit, instead of trying to do something to help the human condition as it exists right now, where people are suffering. You've got drug companies that are buying up the rights of drugs and then skyrocketing the price so they can make the profits off a person's misery of having a disease that could kill them. And they try to spin it, well, it's not exactly like that. Yeah, it is. You're going to have, they set it up so there are people that have to pay for a drug that may be $10, turn around and have to pay over $700 for it. What, where's your morality? Where is your integrity? Trying to spin that into, well, it's not exactly like that. It is exactly like that. You want the rights to the drug and make the profit, fine. But don't jack it up, 100 times the price in order to make yourself a tidy profit. Whether you believe in God or higher power or you don't, the morality and the integrity and the honesty of your spirit and how you interact with other people is your legacy. And if you're dishonest and you bring misery upon other people, honestly, I think you're a despicable human being. If you have enough, there's no reason why you can't send, as Kevin Spacey said, when you have success, send the ladder back down so somebody else can climb up. I'm sick and tired of the selfishness and the self-centeredness of people who think that they're the only ones entitled to have a living wage, a satisfying life, and they're more than willing to make someone else suffer because of that, whether by complaining because their food isn't just right, or that these and these are the last pair of gloves, and I also want a discount on them because there's a small flaw in them. At some point there has to be a gratitude that you have towards life. You have to be grateful for the things you get through. No one makes it out of this world alive. We all end up going back to the earth. And to be despicable and mistreat people is just wrong. It's, this ISIS thing where they are now targeting cities and populations because they're trying to bring about their way of thinking. They are angry people, and there was a psychological experiment, I believe it was at Stanford, where they faked these patients getting shocked when they answered incorrectly. And what ends up happening to people is they become like sheep to people like this that have no regard for someone who has an opposing view to them. And in the studies, what happened is the people that didn't want to inflict harm on another human being end up doing it. And and it's like it's a human condition. And like in World War II, there were people that were in the Nazi Party that didn't believe in all the killing and whatnot, but coming out of depression there, and how it appeared because a lot of these people that joined the Nazi Party that were not Jewish, they saw their fortune change. It reinforced that this isn't so bad. And then eventually, when there became annihilation of Jewish people, they were so far gone into what was going on. I think it horrified these people, but in the long run, a lot of these people got punished for what they did because they followed the crowd. It's a human characteristic to follow, but you have to follow people judiciously. You have to understand the character of the person that you're following and be able to stand up for your own self and not be in a clique. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they like to be in cliques. That people, a lot of the young people I know, they like to drink, they like to play games, and those aren't necessarily productive things if you are doing them not in moderation. Nothing is good for you that can go beyond moderation. It may be pleasurable, but it doesn't mean that it's good. I'm not advocating anyone kill anyone. I'm not advocating anyone be intolerant of someone else's beliefs. But You come to the U.S., you follow their customs. You go to France, you follow their customs. You live within a country that has laws and rules of behavior. That's what you do. You fit in to the culture you're in. And these people in ISIS, they want everyone else to conform to them. And I've known people in different circumstances that wanted me to conform to what they like. All my life, I've never been a person that goes in a clique. Even when I was drinking, I walked my own path. It's who I am. And most people are not that way. And that's why I think that's why I have so few friends, because I'm not willing to give up who I am to be a part of the whole. I think that is the root of what happened with Nazi Germany, and that's what's happening with ISIS. People want to belong so bad to something, they join, and sometimes they join anything. And there were people that probably felt disenfranchised in Nazi Germany, and the way for them to get a leg up was to join the Nazis and the Socialist Party, and as it evolved, it became a very evil entity that is reviled by the majority of the world. ISIS is very similar that way. They want everyone to bow to what they want. And Nazis, that's the way they felt, that, you don't like you're not supposed to like Jews, and ISIS doesn't want Western way of life. I'm not sure that it has so much to do with religion, though the points of view on it are different. I don't think anyone can point to any one deity through any religion and say that's the one. But the majority of faiths, the way they're constructed is kindness to another soul, understanding to another soul, compassion. Even if you don't agree with someone, the idea that you can try to understand their point of view. And the intolerance of ISIS is the same to the intolerance of the Nazis. And I think anybody that falls for that kind of garbage, where you are trying to keep a race, a religious group, a group that may, be someone who is addicted, or has faced addiction, or has a physical disability or a physical flaw. If you're trying to keep someone down because they're different than you, then you're a person that doesn't have love in their heart, and you're not a person that embraces humanity. You are only thinking of yourself and your own goals, and any religion that I know of that is based on a sane approach asks us to love our fellow man and to do good. And you have people who are doing these evil things, and people who are frustrated, maybe frustrated with their life, maybe they're brainwashed, frustrated with what has happened, it had transpired in their lives up to this point, and a group like this makes them feel like they can have some control, and it's a false sense of control. It truly is, because you are harming someone else for your own benefit, and in doing that, there's no religion that I know that condones it. Is a man created fallacy that by causing harm to someone else, that you're going to be, gifted with, 72 virgins, or, the deity is going to honor you for wiping out other human life. It's not the case. The higher power in this world does not believe that. It's the low-hanging fruit they grasp onto taking advantage of someone else and harming someone else to gain an advantage. And, for many years, I had different biases, not necessarily towards race or anything else. It was towards individuals. And over the years, I've learned to accept differences. And if I don't care for somebody, I don't care for them. But I don't have to be hateful or do something destructive to them to know that this is not a person I want in my life. Be they do negative things, I don't share their point of view. Doesn't really matter. I see someone struggling. I try to reach a hand out to get them up off the floor or get past whatever they're thinking or feeling. And sometimes I'm told that I'm too nice, or sometimes people misinterpret kindness or compliments such as beauty or attractiveness to think that I may be trying to make a play on them. At my age, I'm not looking for someone, I'm not pursuing someone to be with. I've been alone most of my life, and yes, I would like someone to share whatever time I have left. But I'm not going to go out of my way to pursue someone, make overt advances that may not be welcomed. People like you, they like you for you. They like who you are. And I tend to be a bull in a china shop when I believe in something. And sometimes my point of view pisses people off and they don't want to talk to me. If I'm friends with somebody on Facebook, they will delete me. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm tolerant. I will sometimes delete someone for saying something that I consider hurtful. It's important that if people make a mistake, you point it out, but you don't have to make it personal. You don't have to call someone an idiot or berate them. People have issues that are going on behind the curtain. They don't want to share with someone else. I have a few of those things. I hold them in. I pursued answers for a lot of things that I didn't have when I was a kid. I have damn near all the answers I want. And Any more that I want, I will get. But I'm not going to take advantage of somebody or berate somebody or denigrate somebody to achieve my goal. And that's what I believe ISIS is doing. They are, at all costs, trying to hurt innocent people, whether it doesn't matter who it is. That person can claim that, person can claim they're part of ISIS, and ISIS will cause harm to them. They want complete control of how this world's run, and it doesn't work like that. You're up against a world, and as long as there are strong men with conviction of doing right, these gentlemen have no chance. And I use the term gentleman very loosely in this case because, truthfully, they are savages. They lop off people's heads for literally no reason. They took over 100 lives for no reason other than their really empty cause, a cause that really has no foundation. And if sane men sit back and allow them to continue this on, there will be a World War III. And it won't be pretty. With the weapons that they have now, if they're used anywhere near civilians, the devastation that could happen to a human and the damage it can cause their body. But these folks do not care about that. The weapons of today can cause us devastation to a person physically, emotionally, and as well psychologically. And as sane people, whether you be Muslim, Catholic, Protestant, Methodist, Lutheran, whether you be from Europe, South America, North America, Russia, we have to view these people that want to cause harm to everyday people as people who must be turned away and slowed down. You count on the military to do that. And the military is capable of doing it. It's just a matter of whether we have leadership that has the courage to stand up for humanity against these people who are animals in the definition of what should be modern society. I have no problem with any race, creed, sexual orientation, disability. It makes no difference to me. I like people. Some people I like more than others, as with everyone. But I never want harm to come to anyone. It's important that we let our leaders know we do not want refugees here in the U.S. They have to resolve their own problems. We've been, as a U.S. in the world, we have been trying to resolve other people's problems for far too long. And maybe these people aren't educated enough to negotiate what they want, so they are barbaric and just kill people who have a voice of dissent. It's not Christian, it's not Muslim, it's not Hindu, it's not the way of any person who believes in a higher power. It's the work of delusional human beings that think that their ideal will serve everyone. No one's ideal serves anyone but themselves. This is my, I'm kind of going round and round, and so I'm going to end this video, but truth of the matter is, we as human beings have to treat each other better. And we have to keep our eyes open for someone else's suffering, for sadness. We can't allow people to be damaged by people who think only of themselves. Now, this is all. I could keep going on, and I probably need to get somebody that can engage in a real conversation on a live feed, and eventually I will probably do that. I appreciate anyone who watches these videos and can appreciate my feelings. And if you disagree, you disagree. They're my points of view, and I think they're valid. Have a great day, folks.